What is up, guys? It's Flash back with some more charts in another video. Today is Friday, March 22nd. It's about 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and today I got another kind of a different video lined up for you guys. It's all about the uranium sector today and some individual tickers. And what I'm going to do is kind of categorize a lot of these tickers and put them into the leaders, the middle of the pack, and the laggards or lagging. And how I'm going to do that and how I'm going to measure that is with ratios. You guys know I love my ratios, and so what I have pulled up here is in red. This is the ratio compared to the S&P 500. The green is the ratio compared to gold, and then down here, which you can't really see because it's a flat line, it's the ratio compared to the URA index. And so this is flat because URA divided by URA measured in URA is just a flat 1. So that makes sense, right? And so what I want to do is kind of identify, okay, who's leading the pack, who's in the middle of the pack, and who's kind of bringing up the rear in terms of compared to the URA specifically. And I think, being able to look at them compared to the S&P, compared to gold, that'll also kind of help us determine. But really what I want to determine is who's leading the way compared to all the rest. And so in this case, the rest of the pack is the URA index, right? And so let's just go through all of these, really. I'm going to categorize them one by one, and that'll kind of give us a better idea of who's leading the way and who is maybe set to outperform because they are bringing up the rear, right? So there's a couple different ways we can look at it, but starting off with CCJ, we're going to zoom out here and see how I'm going to pull up this is the ratio versus URA. So this is CCJ measured in the URA. And so, breakout here compared to all the others in January of 2022, I would say this is one that's leading the way, right? It's outperforming URA. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag CCJ into leaders, just like that. And so next is Centris, LEU. And so this one is interesting, right? I would say this is more of a middle of the road. It's not quite leading the way, but it's not quite lagging, I would say. But there is kind of a concerning breakdown here that we have with LEU versus URA. So this is something we want to keep our eye on. There could be another trend line coming in right here. We can kind of wait and see, because that's what we have. This is LEU versus the S&P. We kind of have that trend line there. LEU versus gold, we kind of have that trend line there. So, but yeah, I would say this LEU is more middle of the pack for now. Now over to Bannerman. Bannerman is looking so good. And so when we pull it up against URA, this is looking explosive. This is leading the way. This is right near CCJ. Like, this is one of the leaders, one of the best looking uranium stocks out there at the moment. We're going to put Bannerman into the leaders category. Also breaking out versus gold, it looks like, and just about to break out versus the S&P. So, this stock is bonkers. Looks so good in my opinion. Okay, over to Elevate. Elevate, I would say, is also middle of the pack here. It's not leading, but it's not down here. It's right in the middle. And so I hope this is a kind of a support line we have in the making. I still love Elevate, right? There's so much upside here, but I would say middle of the pack. Now Boss Energy. Boss Energy, see, look at this thing, leading the way. It's outperforming the URA index. There's a nice upwards trend line here. All looks good. We're going to put Boss as a leader. And now we have BSK. And you can kind of just see this by the stock chart itself. You don't necessarily have to look at it compared to the URA index. But look how this one is just lagging. This one looks terrible, in my opinion. Like, I don't even know why I'm honestly holding this stock right now, but this is a laggard, so we're going to keep it in the lagging category. But hopefully, like I said before, the laggards could ultimately outperform the ones that are leading the way. So there's kind of a couple different ways to look at it. Like maybe you want to get into the ones that haven't taken off yet, right? So, but I mean, you can't deny how good Bannerman looks, right? It's hard to not deny. Why would you invest in BSK over a stock that looks like this, right? So, just providing a couple different perspectives here. Over to Sky Harbor, SYH. This is one I like, but I would say it's probably towards middle of the pack. You know, another breakdown here, which isn't all that ideal, but it could just be, you know, a broader consolidation. You know, maybe there's some wedging going on in here, I'm not sure. But this one still has some work to do. But it is such a simple and powerful looking chart. Like we're uptrend, consolidation, hopefully a continued uptrend. But I'm going to put this one I'm going to put this in the middle of the pack. Over to Paladin. Paladin, I think, is going to be one that's leading the way. Yeah, so look at Paladin. It just broke out versus URA. Looks like it's breaking out versus the S&P, versus gold. It's doing all the right things. It looks super strong. Paladin is one of our leaders for sure. Love Paladin. Over to Laramide. So Laramide versus the S&P, you know, kind of trying to break out here. Still needs some more time. Still needs some more time against gold, and it looks like it's trying versus URA. This is, I would say, middle of the pack, but also could be one of the leaders. But you know, it's definitely its chart doesn't look like that or like that. So I'm gonna have to put Laramide in the middle of the pack. But still, similar to Sky Harbor, kind of. It looks like it's gonna have a lot of upside here. All right, over to UUUU, Energy Fuels. This one is kind of struggling right now. You know, maybe against gold we could throw this in here. But against URA, man, this broke down. It's not ideal. Taking a nosedive against URA right now. So I would say this is close to lagging, but I'm still going to have this in the middle of the pack. But this one, I mean, this one could be almost considered a laggard, right? But it's not like BSK, you know, BSK is brutal. So we'll put Energy Fuels as the same company, just a different ticker. We'll put that in the middle of the pack. All right, over to MGA, Mega Uranium. And this one, you know, it's tough to say because MGA has done so well, but still compared to URA, I would say it's still middle of the pack. But it's just such a good looking chart. This will become a leader momentarily, I think, once it breaks out 0.0156 of URA. I like MGA a lot. So I'm going to star this one as like up and comer that I want to get into, honestly. All right, we got a few more to go here, and we'll wrap this up. But look at Encore Energy. This one's about to be a leader. I mean, I think it has been a leader. I mean, this outperformance, broader consolidation. Honestly, I'm gonna put Encore Energy as a leader. Looks so good. Okay, FMC, Form Energy. This one is a laggard. I can tell you that right now. That's what I've been saying all along. And what helps us point that out, besides these ratios, is we are under the 3-year moving average, and I believe we are under the Ichimoku cloud. The cloud doesn't want to load for whatever reason, but yeah. So this is stayed as a laggard. FSY. FSY looks like it broke out, came in for a retest against URA, and has just broken out. So I'm going to put this as a leader. Love FSY. You can tell by the chart too. It just looks like it's about to break and run. All right, GLO. Not a ton of data on this one. This one is kind of broken stock from the news, in my opinion. I'm going to say gonna say it's middle of the pack. That could be controversial, I know, but we'll see. UEC, look at this. This one's just outperforming URA over time. So this one's a leader. Still hasn't even broken out of its base yet, in my opinion. UROY. Ooh. UROY we don't have a ton of data on, so we got to keep that in mind. And we have a little bit of we have some work to do against URA, but this could become a leader quickly. But I'm gonna say this one's middle of the pack. Deep yellow. Ooh, deep yellow. What do we got? We're approaching a breakout. It looks like it could almost be a leader, but right now I would say it's middle of the pack, but soon to become a leader. So we'll tag that one too. All right, FUU, F3 uranium. This is interesting. Let's see what we can come up with here on FUU. You know, we got a little bit of a resistance right here, breakout. Look at that. Look what's happening here. Kind of a sweet looking chart. I mean, I'm gonna call this a leader. Well, like that, to be fair, I can't. It's not a Boss Energy or a Bannerman, but we're gonna put this in the middle. But this another tag. This is gonna break out, I think. Okay, now AEC, obviously a laggard. Don't even have to really talk about that one. You can kind of just see has not been outperforming URA, but it could in the future, right? Peninsula Energy, similar story. This is a laggard. Oh wait, messed that up. AEC isn't lagging. Pen, lagging. Cap's kind of middle. GoVX, laggard. ISO is middle of the pack. Okay, well there we go. So we got our tickers up here. URA, URNM, URNJ, a couple ratios, Apple versus CCJ, NVIDIA versus CCJ. Just kind of curious how that's going. So yeah, all right, so we got our leaders, we got our middle of the packs, we got our laggards. I think this is the way I'm gonna present these or walk through them going forward. So hopefully this was a different perspective for you guys. Hopefully you appreciate this, and yeah, drop a like, subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you guys in the next one.